Are Republicans the party of the working class, while Dems are the party of the pompous ass? As Dem elites lean lefty, the price they're paying is hefty. According to Axios, the website, not my Greek personal trainer who went missing with my Enya CDs, Democrats are becoming the party of upscale voters, while Republicans are quietly building a multiracial coalition of working-class voters. Yep, the Republicans are building a tent that's big enough for Barack Obama's birthday party. Axios calls it a political realignment in real time. Meanwhile, Dems just assume these brown and black people must be white supremacists. It's a shift that political watchers, who are like bird watchers but with fewer friends, say will benefit the right in the midterms, especially as more Hispanics flock to the GOP, proving they're losing interest in woke cultural issues that ignore real-life concerns. Plus, the right won't compare them to breakfast tacos, although they are delicious. Meantime, the American Federation of Teachers commissioned a poll they thought would paint liberals in a good light. They asked voters if they have more confidence in Dems or Republicans in dealing with education. Republicans got 39% of the vote compared to 38% for the Dems. Only a 1-point advantage, but that's not bad for a poll that's rigged by a teachers union. No wonder they don't want to give parents a choice. But with the midterms closing in, Dems are desperate to overhaul their elitist image. I wonder how that's going to go.
Thanks for coming to this focus group, everyone. As a Democrat, I just want to touch base with average voters. You know, you dirty fingernail types.
Yeah, gas prices are pretty bad.
Yeah, no, very concerning. Have you tried maybe taking the boat out only twice a year?
I don't own a boat.
Well, not with that attitude.
I'm worried about feeding my family. You just don't get it.
Maybe you're right. Maybe we are out of touch. We're the party of JFK and FDR, not AOC. From now on, we'll put the concerns of hardworking American families first. Oh my God. Hello? Oh, yeah, of course. I'll be there right away. I've got a 4 p.m. tea time at the country club. I gotta go. Shannon, call my Uber!
Yeah, those damn Uber-using commies. Douglas, do you think this is real, or is this wishful thinking? Is this happening, this transition?
Well, clearly the left, that Axios headline sort of speaks to that, doesn't it? They're just horrified whenever they discover that, like, ethnic minorities might vote Republican. They can't understand it. They think, have they not been told often enough by us, the left-wing media, that this is just voting for the KKK? Don't they get it yet? So, of course, then they make those people like honorary white Americans. And whenever they discover that, amazingly, some women vote Republican, they become men. And there's just a set of sort of games. They never take it seriously. They never actually take the concerns of voters seriously and think, you know, maybe there's something we're doing wrong. Maybe there's something we're not speaking to. It's always, maybe we haven't told them off enough.
Right. We're the ones at fault, Tyrus. It seems like when they get into power, their only pursuit is more power and not the needs of the voters.
Well, it's the needs of the few, the individuals outweigh the question. And I don't think it's fair to Democrats. I think moderate Democrats are kind of stuck.
Yeah.
Like, you know, because it's just like if our fringe suddenly started driving the bus, we would all have very different conversations on this show.
That's
right?
true.
And they're not only driving the bus, they're also deciding who gets on the bus. So if you're not in line and in tow with what they've got, you can't be a part of it. And that excludes just about everybody but their little group or whoever they've decided to be. That's why when you see them come after people, there's never giant hordes of protesters behind them.
Yeah.
They rely on the Twitter as their shadow band that goes after people. So, yeah, I think working class, because the only ones, but here's the thing, Republicans, we have to do something with it.
You're right.
We are saying, yes, we're here for parents. Yes, we're here for schools. Yes, we're going to get this down in gas prices. And we're talking a good game. But let's say November we have the blue drowning and we get a big red wave in there and we don't do anything that we talked about. This is going to be topsy-turvy all over again. So we're in a good position right now to actually get some things done because the American people are listening to who's going to do what's best for my dinner table, not what I call my wife at the dinner table, whatever pronoun that is or whatever.
Yeah.
We don't give a damn what you call me. Make sure there's food on my table.
That's the whole thing, is that they've replaced the needs of the working class for identity politics.
They want name tags on everybody instead of meeting people.
Yeah, good point there. Kat, you hail from a working class background, am I right?
No, my family's loaded. Sorry you've never been invited on our luxury yacht. I think the Democrats have just made it like too easy for Republicans. Like, for example, with education, right? For the longest time, education was such a nuanced debate of, you know, what kids should be learning in school, what they should be focusing on, what was the role of school in certain areas versus not. And then during COVID, the Democrats turned it into a debate with two sides, which was the kids should go to school versus no. Like, you can't be shocked when people are going to think school's good for kids.
Yeah.
So again, like Tyra says, I really think that they've made it pretty easy, but Republicans have to be careful to not try to counter every single thing that they, you know, pull up all these different issues, be it, you know, these different social issues or identity politics, and not try to aggressively, specifically counter those and focus on the things that everybody does care about.
It's a fair point. Leave that stuff to clowns like me. Right?
Sure.
Because like talking about the pronouns and the trans stuff is fun, but the Republicans should just be focusing on crime and inflation, the economy, that kind of stuff that, frankly bores the people at home. I'm kidding. Vanya, does this shift in demographics surprise you? I heard you talking about it on a podcast, I think with Michael Shermer, about how the Democrats, you're a Democrat, I believe, right? Or you used to be.
Well, I call myself a lefty. I don't know that I would call myself a Democrat, especially not in this room and this crowd. I won't make it home. But I think this shift has been underway for a very long time. 50 years ago, the left and the Democrats were the side of labor, the side of the working class, and the Republicans were the side of the rich. Today, you've seen a real shift in who each side sees as their base. And if you look at the Democrats' platform, it is a wish list for like the overeducated top 10%. Environmentalism and banning fracking, right?
Yeah.
Like that is like vanity morals for the wealthy that punishes the working class, that takes away their jobs. Defunding the police, like you said, Greg, a couple weeks ago on The Five, that is doing the KKK's work for it, right? That hurts working class people of color. It ends up dead bodies piling up, but it makes them feel so good about themselves and holier than thou, right? Because they don't have to worry about crime in their neighborhoods because they live in these upscale neighborhoods. The war in Ukraine, right? Let's fund that. Gas is going up, right? But it makes them feel good, right? And because they're taking Ubers, they don't care, right?
Yeah.
They're taking the subway. They live in cities. They don't feel it like the working class. And so you see all of this entire agenda is built around flattering the vanity of liberal elites at the expense of the working class. And I totally love what you both said, which is this is an opportunity for Republicans not to squander it, not to just use it to like win these cultural battles, but actually to make the lives of working class and middle class Americans better.
Excellent point. All right. And she watches The Five. That's my warm-up show. Kind of fun. It's a little show, but we do our best with what we have.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.